Strength begins with self-belief and inner conviction, and this truth is often overlooked in a world where people constantly look outside themselves for approval, encouragement, or permission. When you think about strength, it is easy to imagine muscles, physical energy, or the ability to endure long hours of work, but real strength is not simply about the body. Real strength begins deep within, in the quiet conversations you have with yourself, in the way you choose to respond when the world tells you that you are not enough. Self-belief is the seed from which all strength grows, and conviction is the water that keeps that seed alive. Without these two elements, even the most talented person can collapse under pressure, while the one who truly believes in themselves can rise above impossible odds. Every great achievement in history was first carried by an unshakable inner belief, by someone who refused to surrender to doubt, even when the circumstances around them screamed otherwise. When you have self-belief, you stop waiting for the world to validate you. You stop depending on others to tell you what you are worth, because you already know it. And this does not mean arrogance. It means recognizing your own power and accepting that your growth is in your own hands. Inner conviction is the force that pushes you forward when everything in life feels like it is trying to pull you back. It is that quiet voice inside that says, "I will keep moving no matter how hard this gets." It is the reason some people thrive in challenges while others quit. The truth is, external motivation can fade quickly, but inner conviction creates a fire that does not die easily. That is why people with strong self-belief and conviction can keep going long after others have stopped. This kind of strength is not built overnight. It is cultivated daily in the choices you make. When you choose to get up even after failing, you strengthen your conviction. When you choose to work on yourself instead of blaming others, you strengthen your belief. Every single decision adds to your reservoir of inner strength, and over time, you become someone who no longer doubts their ability to face what life throws at them. People around you might not see the battles you fight internally, but those battles are what truly shape your character. It is in the unseen moments of discipline, in the quiet hours of effort, and in the silent prayers of perseverance where inner strength is born. To believe in yourself means to carry the courage to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. Conviction makes you unshakable because even when people criticize, even when you stumble, you have something deeper holding you steady. This kind of strength cannot be borrowed and it cannot be given. It is something only you can build, and once it is yours, it becomes the foundation on which everything else in your life stands. Challenges are opportunities to train your resilience, but most people see them only as obstacles that block their way. When life throws difficulties at us, the immediate reaction is often frustration, fear, or even the desire to give up. Yet if you shift your perspective, you begin to understand that every challenge you encounter is not meant to stop you, but to strengthen you. Just like muscles grow when they are pushed under resistance, your inner strength grows when life puts you under pressure. Without challenges, there would be no reason to grow, no reason to test the limits of your capacity, and no reason to discover the depths of your own courage. When you face a challenge, you are invited into a space where your potential can expand. Imagine walking on a path with no obstacles. You would move forward, yes, but you would remain the same person. Now imagine facing a steep hill. As you climb, your legs grow stronger, your lungs expand, and your determination increases. That is the gift hidden inside every difficulty. Challenges bring out qualities you may not even know you possess. Patience, perseverance, creativity, problem solving. These all come alive when life demands more from you than usual. Resilience is not the absence of pain or failure, but the ability to rise after being knocked down. Every setback you face builds a new layer of toughness, a deeper level of wisdom, and a stronger version of yourself. The truth is, if everything in life came easily, you would never discover your full strength. Diamonds are created under pressure, and so are resilient human beings. Each obstacle becomes a teacher, shaping you into someone who can handle bigger responsibilities and more significant challenges in the future. In fact, resilience is built through repeated exposure to difficulties, and every time you choose to face them instead of running away, you become more unshakable. It is also important to remember that challenges do not just train your mind and emotions, they also refine your character. They teach you humility because you realize that life is bigger than your plans. They teach you gratitude because when you overcome, you begin to appreciate even the smallest victories. They teach you focus because you cannot afford to be distracted when you are fighting through adversity. Every hard season in life comes with lessons that cannot be learned in comfort. That is why many people, when looking back, realize that the toughest moments were the very times that prepared them for their greatest successes. So when challenges appear in your life, see them not as punishment, but as opportunities to train your resilience. Each one is a stepping stone that builds your capacity to rise, to endure, and to thrive. They may be uncomfortable, even painful, but in the end, they are shaping you into someone far stronger than you were before. No one else can fight your battles. Responsibility is yours, and this is one of the most empowering truths you can ever accept. Too often, people wait for others to rescue them, to solve their problems, or to carry their burdens, but life does not work that way. The struggles you face are uniquely designed for you, and while others may offer guidance, advice, or even temporary support, the real work of overcoming belongs to you alone. Just as no one can eat healthy on your behalf or exercise for your body, no one can endure the challenges you are meant to face. The responsibility of growth, healing, and strength rests squarely on your shoulders, and accepting this truth is the first step to unlocking your true potential. When you rely too heavily on others to fight for you, you give away your power. You start to believe that your strength is dependent on someone else's actions, but the reality is, no one else can truly understand the weight of your struggle the way you do. People may empathize, they may try to help, but at the end of the day, it is you who must make the decision to rise, to endure, and to move forward. This may feel overwhelming at first, but it is also liberating because it means you do not have to wait for anyone else to change your life. You hold the power within yourself to face your challenges and to emerge stronger. Taking responsibility also teaches you accountability. It forces you to stop blaming others or circumstances for where you are. Instead of saying, "I can't succeed because of this person, this event, or this failure," you begin to say, "What can I do differently to overcome this?" This shift in mindset transforms you from a victim into a fighter, from someone who is helpless into someone who is powerful. Responsibility gives you ownership of your story, and when you own your story, you also own the power to rewrite it. Life is full of battles, personal struggles, emotional pain, financial hardships, health challenges, and none of them can be avoided completely. Each one demands courage and persistence, and while people may walk alongside you, the actual fight will always be yours. The good news is that the more battles you fight for yourself, the stronger you become. You gain confidence in your ability to handle difficulties, and that confidence fuels you for future challenges. Every victory, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you are resilient, and that you can handle whatever life brings. In the end, no one else can live your life for you. They cannot face your fears, they cannot conquer your doubts, and they cannot fight your battles. That responsibility is yours alone, and while it may feel heavy at times, it is also the very thing that will make you strong, independent, and unshakable. Consistency in small efforts builds lasting strength, and this principle is often underestimated because people believe that strength comes from one grand act or one huge breakthrough. In reality, the foundation of true strength is laid in the daily habits, the repeated choices, and the persistent actions that seem small in the moment but accumulate into something extraordinary over time. Think of a seed planted in the ground. It does not grow into a tree overnight. It requires sunlight, water, and nourishment day after day, and though the changes may be invisible at first, eventually that seed breaks through the soil and becomes something powerful and unshakable. Strength in life works in exactly the same way. When you decide to show up every single day, even in the smallest ways, You are training yourself to become disciplined and resilient. For example, the person who chooses to exercise for 10 minutes every day will eventually build more strength than the person who goes to the gym once a month for 3 hours. The same principle applies to your mindset and emotional growth. Reading a page of a book daily, practicing gratitude for a few minutes, or pushing yourself to complete small goals may feel insignificant, but over time, these actions compound and shape your inner strength. The beauty of consistency is that it transforms small efforts into unstoppable momentum. It is easy to be motivated for a day or two, but real growth happens when you keep going long after the initial excitement has faded. Strength is not built in moments of inspiration, but in the quiet, often unnoticed discipline of daily effort. Consistency teaches patience because results are not immediate, and it forces you to trust the process even when you cannot see instant progress. It also eliminates the pressure of perfection because you begin to understand that you do not need to accomplish everything at once. You just need to keep moving forward step by step. Another powerful aspect of consistency is the way it builds self-trust. Each time you follow through with a commitment, even a small one, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. This self-trust is crucial because it becomes the foundation of your confidence. When life presents bigger challenges, you will have the assurance that you are capable of staying committed, because you have practiced it daily. Over time, this reliability towards yourself strengthens your mind, your willpower, and your resilience. Lasting strength does not come from dramatic moments, but from the accumulation of countless small, consistent actions. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, persistence over quitting, and effort over excuses, you are building layers of strength that will sustain you for the long run. Consistency transforms weakness into power and potential into achievement. And the person who understands this truth holds the key to lasting success and unshakable resilience. Pain and struggle are stepping stones to growth, though at first they often feel like heavy burdens designed only to break us. When you are in the middle of hardship, it can be difficult to see anything positive about it. Pain feels uncomfortable, struggle feels exhausting, and most people wish to escape it as quickly as possible. But if you take a step back and look deeper, you will realize that pain and struggle are not barriers to your progress, but necessary pathways that shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Growth rarely happens in comfort. It almost always happens when you are forced out of what is easy and into what is challenging. Think about the process of building physical strength. Muscles only grow when they are pushed beyond their limits, when they are torn slightly through resistance, and then rebuilt stronger than before. In the same way, your inner strength, mental resilience, and emotional toughness develop when you experience difficulties. Each painful moment carries with it a lesson, and each struggle reveals parts of yourself you would never have discovered otherwise. Without pain, there would be no empathy. Without struggle, there would be no perseverance, and without challenges, there would be no triumphs worth celebrating. Struggle also teaches you perspective. When you have faced hard times, you begin to appreciate the moments of peace and joy in ways you never did before. Pain humbles you, reminding you that life is not always under your control, but it also empowers you by showing you that you are capable of enduring more than you thought possible. Every setback becomes a story of survival, every disappointment a lesson, and every failure a stepping stone to something greater. Even though it hurts in the moment, pain is often the force that pushes you to grow beyond your current limits and reach for higher ground. Another hidden gift of pain and struggle is the way they strip away illusions and distractions. In times of ease, it is easy to settle into routines or become complacent, but hardship forces you to confront your true self. It demands clarity, courage, and determination. You discover what truly matters, who truly supports you, and what values you refuse to compromise on. These lessons become priceless treasures that strengthen your character and guide your future decisions. Pain shapes you into someone who no longer fears adversity, but understands its purpose. When you embrace pain and struggle as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, you reclaim your power. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger?" That shift in perspective transforms suffering into growth and hardship into opportunity. Every scar becomes a reminder not of defeat but of resilience, and every struggle you overcome becomes evidence that you are becoming stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the future challenges that life will inevitably bring. True strength is not just physical, but mental and emotional mastery, and this is what often separates those who endure life's storms from those who crumble under pressure. Physical strength has its limits, but the mind and heart have capacities that can carry you through situations where muscle alone would fail. A strong body can lift weights, but a strong mind can carry vision, purpose, and determination through obstacles that seem impossible. Emotional mastery allows you to regulate your feelings, to stay calm in chaos, and to maintain hope even when circumstances appear hopeless. Together, mental and emotional strength form the foundation of resilience, the quiet power that keeps you moving forward when everything else feels overwhelming. Mental strength is built when you learn to control your thoughts and direct your focus. Challenges will always try to cloud your mind with negativity, fear, or doubt, but when you train your thoughts to remain positive, constructive, and determined, you create a shield against defeat. Mental mastery is the ability to remind yourself of your goals when distractions tempt you away, to hold on to discipline when excuses feel easier, and to believe in possibilities when others insist it cannot be done. It is not about denying the difficulties, but about choosing the mindset that empowers you to act despite them. This kind of strength transforms failures into lessons, setbacks into fuel, and limitations into starting points for creativity. Emotional mastery, on the other hand, is the ability to handle your inner storms. Life will bring stress, disappointment, and even heartbreak. And if emotions are left unchecked, they can overwhelm you and cloud your judgment. Emotional strength does not mean you never feel pain, sadness, or fear. It means you acknowledge those feelings but do not let them control your actions. It is about responding instead of reacting, about finding calm in the storm, and about carrying hope even when despair knocks at your door. A person with emotional mastery knows that resilience is not built by avoiding emotions, but by managing them in a way that strengthens rather than weakens. True strength lies in the balance of both, mental clarity and emotional stability. When the mind and heart are aligned, you become unstoppable. You can face challenges with courage, make decisions with wisdom, and navigate uncertainty with patience. This kind of strength cannot be seen in the mirror, but it shows in the way you live, the way you treat others, and the way you refuse to give up when life gets hard. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have the power to endure, the ability to adapt, and the courage to keep moving forward. Physical strength may fade with time, but mental and emotional mastery only deepen, and they form the unshakable foundation upon which true resilience is built.